Hi everyone, my name is Rory Dean Schneider. I'm a board member of the Nokota Horse Conservancy, and I made this amateur documentary after a trip that we took with some Nokota horses down to the annual colt starting clinic in Texas with trainer and clinician Jack Leeser.
It's really cold outside today. Well, I can only video for a little bit because it's hard to keep my hand outside of my glove. It's so cold. It's probably around 0 degrees and then the wind is blowing. So it's really cold. Jordan. Boy, it's cold, cold, cold. It kind of takes your breath away when the wind blows right at you and you're trying to breathe. Woo. These are 3 of the horses that we're taking with us down to Texas.
We took 10 horses with us altogether, and only a few of them had ever worn a halter before. This is Frank Kuntz and his nephew Jordan just changing a bad tire on the trailer. We pretty much got the trailer checked out, got the oil changed on the pickup, got everything loaded, and we were ready to go. This was pretty much the route we took to Texas. You can see it's just shy of 1,300 miles. Google tells me it takes 21 hours. We made it in about 25 hours total. The weather wasn't great when we got to Texas. It was actually about as cold as it ever gets in Texas, we were told, but it felt nice to us, and it sure felt nice to the horses, because as soon as we let them out of the trailer, this was pretty much the scene. They just ran around and jumped for joy, eager to be out of the trailer and ready to go.
There's nothing better than this right here, when the sun shines shining this time of year. No worries in the world, just sit back sipping on a cold beer. All my party people, make some noise if you're out there. I got a spot right here in the shade. I got more green than the St. Patrick's Day parade. This is my life, there ain't nothing I would trade. Good time with good friends, talk about old times and partying. We know it can't last forever, but we hope it never ends. It's all about good time with good friends, talk about old times and partying. We know it can't last forever, but we hope it never ends. Here in the West Coast, where the girls are the baddest, and you can keep that stress, cause homie, we don't know what that is. Every weekend keeping up on our poolside status. Yeah, I'm living proof if you work hard enough, you can have this. The no dress code required, summertime attire. When we sitting in the moonlight around the campfire, drinking and smoking as much as our hearts desire. Living carefree, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's all about good time with good friends, talk about old times and partying. We know it can't last forever, but we hope it never ends. It's all about good time with good friends, talk about old times and partying. We know it can't last forever, but we hope it never ends. Everybody's laughing, everybody's cheering. The haters keep hating, but we still don't hear them. No need for negativity, so we don't get near them. Come on, ring around the rosies, pocket full of pills, a full ice chest, and a lot of cheap thrills. Top shelf cocktails as we fire up the grill and just
thank you guys all for showing up. We're gonna see the ponies here. We're gonna get to go play with them. But I just want you guys to go around, introduce, and just tell me a little bit about you, why you're here, and what you would like to get out of this.
I'm Frank. I'm here because of the horses and because of all of you. My family and I have been involved with these horses for a number of years. We've always known that they were good, sound, sturdy horses, and that's why we originally picked them up, but it was their brain that really impressed us. We could say a little more about the history, what they've gone through, and just to get here and stay here, they're pretty amazing horses. So I look forward to watching all of you out here. And I like to say I'm very appreciative for you people to be here to learn more. And we've got a wonderful opportunity to learn more about these horses, but we also got a really good teacher to work with. So I always look forward to that.
Alright, so it's time to get started. First, we bring the horses in to what's called a human round corral or a human round pen, which is basically just people standing around in a circle. The horses are in the center, free to move about as they please within the circle. And then the goal here on these first couple days and these first couple sessions early in the day is just to get the horses used to your presence and used to you kind of walking in towards them. Here Jack is doing some demonstrating and explaining what is taking place and what you should be looking for and what you're trying to accomplish. But one of your big goals with this step is to try and walk through the herd while disturbing them as little as possible. So you can tell that these horses are pretty relaxed already, but like I said before, only a few of them had ever been haltered before they were brought to this clinic, and a couple of them have been ridden before. But for the most part, these horses are very much unhandled, and so they're just kind of taking things in as you go along. So here you can see one of the participants meandering through the herd. Now her goal is to just walk through the herd while disturbing them as little as possible. Now this does two things. This helps the horses get used to you walking in and amongst them, and it also helps teach the clinic participants about how their body movement really affects the herd. Because if you try and just strut right across the circle, they scatter like little birds running away. But if you control your energy and you walk slowly and calmly through without seeming that you're being aggressive, then the herd responds much more relaxed. So that's the main goal with this exercise.
To the ghetto if you think you're slick. You can cry on your pillow when your pocket gets picked. You can go to the cops, but they'll think you're crazy. But you better not, 'cause they might just be so cool and a deadly.
All right, so here's the next step in the training process. We bring the horses into the round pens in small groups, usually 2, 3, or 4 horses at a time, with a couple people in the center of the round pen. And the horses are free to move back and forth around the outside. And so the first step that the participants do is they just start moving the ropes back and forth. They don't throw the ropes directly at the horses for a good bit. This is just to let the horses get used to ropes flying around near them in the round pen. So at first they just toss the ropes to the side, and then eventually they start tossing the ropes towards the horses and onto the horse's back. Eventually they're going to end up forming loops and actually trying to catch the horses. But for right now, they're just getting them used to having ropes tossed at them and having the ropes on their backs. So you can kind of see through the progression of this, the horse is getting more and more comfortable with the rope on their back. Usually they're way more skittish. At that time he was okay with it. Now he's like, eh, this isn't so bad. He's thinking about it. And there he stops. And then bam, look at that. Tossed it onto his back. He's like, whoa, this is kind of uncomfortable, but I'm getting used to it, so it's okay. And eventually he'll slow down and stop again. So that's the point that you want them to get to before you try and catch them, basically. You want them to be okay with the rope being tossed at them and landing on them and then resting there. Now he's ready to be roped.
And I like about that beautiful loop about that.
Once you get a rope on them, that's where the action really begins. This is when you're able to start communicating a lot more. Using the rope, you're able to tug with slight pressure and ask for the horse's attention. At first, you just want them to focus their ears on you so that they're listening to you, and then you want them to look towards you, and then you want them to turn their head, and eventually you want them to take a step towards you. And that's all kind of the basic progression and the first steps in trying to work with these horses.
I put a feel, I bump. 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 Hey, buddy. It's right up close and personal.
Actually,
It's going to take about a quarter of the time today to get to where you got. Yes.
right, you heard him. It's go time, day 2. So day 2 starts out just like day 1 with the human round pen exercise and walking through the herd, trying not to disturb them. But things progress quite a bit quicker on the second day because the horses are starting to get used to this whole routine.
That I got those walking blue now. Well, now some people tell me that the word blues ain't bad. That the worst don't feel mama I most ever had. Some people tell me that the word blues ain't bad. That the worst don't feel mama.
Carol's just having too much fun in there.
No way. Last year.
A little different than yesterday. Okay, catch.
So there's a critical gap here in the training sequence, but what happens after the morning exercise with the human round corral? The horses are brought in once again to the round pens in the arena, and the horses that are more comfortable with people being around them were haltered, and the horses that weren't used to being haltered yet were roped again, and then they did some more rope work, slowly getting the horse used to being close to a person and having the rope on them, and eventually people were able to approach the horses and scratch them on the shoulder, and eventually you can put the halters on. And so once you're able to halter the horse and lead it around a little bit in the round pen, then you take the horse outside and continue their training in the open arena. And so there's a number of things going on here, but you'll notice there's some desensitization taking place, there's some lunging, but basically these horses have all just recently become accustomed to being haltered, and so the participants are doing some various techniques to get the horses to lead properly or to lunge. There you go.